Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Motor Stardom Show. Probably the most low budget version of the Stardom Show. We don't shy away from the fact that this is low budget, anyways. But we are here at Daytona International Speedway. If you couldn't tell, I'm on my MacBook. This was the goal of this. Well, number one, there was supposed to be a show, anyways, today, but it was going to be remote from my house, like it's been before, from the studio. Last minute, made some schedule arrangements to come here to Daytona and cover the ARCA Menard Series test. And so here we are. We are here in Daytona. It's been a fun day, a short day. Rolled in around just in the afternoon time. It was a session that started only around 10:30. Making sure the audio is good here. There's supposed to be a show anyway. Wow, we are choppy. But yeah, there was supposed to be a race here anyways, or supposed to be a show today anyways. But here we are at Daytona. The ARCA test was today. Amber on top. In that test, she was the fastest. There on the charts, there were a few things that unfortunately took place. There were some crashes. There was one crash on the back straightaway. Don't know how it happened. I think it was a stack up. There were a few cars involved, but nonetheless, that was all situated and taken care of. But overall, pretty fun day here. The sunset is beautiful. It's been a chilly day. It's been a crisp, like 30, 40 degrees all day. So the sun comes down. It's going to get even colder. So this was supposed to be filmed out on the track, like above the garage area. But number one, it is freezing outside. I can't really feel my hands. And number two, they're shutting everything down early. So as you can tell, it's getting really dark here in Daytona. But that's because they are just getting the heck out of here. Everybody wants to get out of here. It is cold. The teams are going home. Most of the haulers just left. Most of the teams are only doing one day, basically. Most of the teams are only doing one day here instead of the two. So, they are all out after day one, and they are going to be a few teams here for day two. Usually Fast Track is here because a lot of the teams that have various drivers are going to stay for the second day so their drivers can get their allotted time out there on the track. So the point of today's show was going to be to talk with our good buddy Caesar Bacarella a little bit. He's going to be joining the show. They've got a lot of cool stuff that we'll briefly talk about with Alpha Prime, with Caesar's brand, of course, but as well as the team, Alpha Prime Racing. Big things coming this year. Parker Retzlaff's on board, as well as Caesar, who will be racing in Daytona. And why don't we go ahead and bring my pile in here. Caesar Bacarella, if you wonder what my setting was, I'm in the Daytona infield parking lot. It is dark here. They cut off all the lights here, brother. Real early. It's cold outside. Everybody's trying to go home. So I'm out here in the parking lot. How you doing?
Good. It's cold in South Florida, brother. So if it's cold here, I can only imagine there.
Yeah. Where are you at right now?
Home, living room, Fort Lauderdale. So,
Yep.
but for us, we're in like the 30s, so that's pretty damn cold for us.
Yeah, I came from it. It just started getting like that in Tampa, so I knew driving up here it was going to be at least a few degrees colder. But the thing about the track, it's always windy, so the cars are going
Yeah.
around. It's always windy. My fingers are frozen, so the car does feel good right now. I was going to be out there on the track, but they shutting everything down. It's dark, it's cold, so we in here. But there's no perfect. Every place is a perfect place to talk about what you guys are doing this year, man. Obviously, a big year coming up. Guys, overall for the team, we got Brett, which that I'm sure is huge for you guys. The way he just performs week in and week out. Excited to see that next year. But let's talk about your new guy, Parker Retzlaff, coming aboard, bringing aboard that number 4 car. It's going to be a little new look for Alpha Prime, getting a new number in there. But how cool is that to bring such a young but at the same time seasoned driver in the Xfinity Series that's proven himself and is going to get the most out of what you guys have?
Oh no, we're just tickled to death here. We're super excited when we're trying to negotiate with him, bring him on board. It was just, like I wanted him, pretty bad, because I know what the kid has done in Xfinity. I think he's put a staple on what his capability is. He said he's young, but the kid is good. He's fast. Even in the Cup, you've seen him what he did, almost won a plate race already. And the guy is very talented. Keeps the car on them all the time. So it's super excited to have a young, fast driver.
Yeah. And you mentioned almost getting up there at Daytona. I mean, those super speedways are so important for him to go out there, and he definitely made more of a name for himself in that Coke Zero 400, getting up there and almost winning that damn
Yeah.
thing. Now you guys obviously usually have three cars in these super speedways, you being one of them. We'll get to that in a second, but to be able to kind of have an arm, and hopefully just the goal is to be there at the end. And if you can be there at the end, it seems like you got two guys that, in Brennan Poole and Parker Retzloff and in yourself, that can make things happen at the end. How important is it just to be there in those last few laps? Racing the super speedways.
It's the most important. It's like, it's kind of like when you're playing the restricted play race, it's a kind of a chess match.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be careful what you do. And it's like you do restricted plays. I tell it's like Daytona, Talladega, man. It's like you're playing chess with a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Be careful what you do because all of a sudden you will get bit. It could be your fault, could be not your fault. Most of the time it's, you just get tied up, in other people's stuff, or it's just close racing. A lot of times you can't even blame a driver because it's just everybody's racing for inches. And when there's 10 to go, it's just a free for all. I call it kind of like short track racing, but at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. No, literally. And so we'll get to you, my friend. I'm gonna put here on my little screen here for you. Coming up here at Daytona, you're going to be in the blueberry muffin car with the Alpha Prime mini muffins that just you were dropping those last year. Now as we start here 2025, how excited are you first and foremost just to get back to the racetrack and get back in the car, because obviously you were unable to go out there and have all that fun at Talladega that you wanted. Your co-owner did, but
Yeah.
now you're going to be back in the seat at Daytona.
No, I'm just super excited because I think we're getting better as a team. You're getting better equipment. I think I had like three top tens in the last five races, and actually the last race Daytona, we're right there in the top 10. Unfortunately, got tangled up with under 10 to go. Just no big deal, and but it just cost us. We couldn't finish the race, but I think we had
Yeah.
another one there. But with the Prime Bites muffin, Prime Bites muffin Chevy is going to be really really good. It's one of our brands, and it's going to be on my car. It's going to be on Parker's cars a few races too this year, and also on Brennan's car too. So one thing at least, it does look cool. You could catch it from a mile away.
Yeah, yeah. You guys are always, somebody literally told me today, uh, somebody that's running security at the track, and we were talking about and he literally said, he was like, those Alpha Prime cars are always looking the best out there, because I was showing them your mini muffin cars. I was getting everything ready for the show today, and they said that's one of the best cars that they've seen already this year that's come out. So it's going to look good out there. But we talk about being there at the end. You're still on a little streak here. You got a good run going with your top 10 action that you've been securing up lately. Are we going for another one in February?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely gonna go for an over. Just don't know how you're gonna play it. It's
Yeah.
whether you go up front and you stay up front, and then you just don't know, or you go in the back and just relax for a little bit, then you go a little bit later. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go. I think we have, our cars are better. People realize when we started the team, it's very hard. When we're underfunded, and you're putting everything you have into these cars. And I think me and Tommy's done a great job running the team. And I think we're getting our fancy. We put a lot of money into the team to get better drivers, better equipment. Super excited about Parker because it's gonna be the first time ever where we're gonna have lease motors full time for Parker for any of our cars. You know, so I think that's a tool that's going to be, you talk about lease motor, it's speed, a few tanks here, and I think ECR has always given us great mortars, but now we're going to have the best of the best. So, it's super exciting to see, give the kid, the best stuff that we could possibly give him. And I think that, I think he could actually win a race this year. I think he could do it. She's got the talent. So if we can give him a car that's good enough, I think take it to the winner's circle.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. Because I grabbed this up too. His little stat sheet here. 75 starts already in the Xfinity Series. He's got a few years under his belt with Jordan Anderson. Had the starts with Sieg's team. If there one in here that sticks out to you the most of the five statistics that you guys put up?
I think his statistics are still, believe it or not, are a little off. You can see all the great statistics he has, but
Yeah,
believe it or not, last year I think he had a lot of bad luck.
yeah,
Parker. There was a lot of times where he was running up front and just, it's always NASCAR. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A lot of bumping, a lot of grinding. There's incidents. People, it is what it is. And like I said, it's so important to be at the end. But I think he got a handful of races that it was not his fault. And that's why I like, because I see his statistics, I see how good he is. I'm like, okay, if you take out a lot of that bad luck, give me 50% of that. It's like it tells you how good of a driver is. And I think when you say the garage, I could confidently say I think he's one of the top drivers there is in Xfinity right now. And you know how hard that our series is. It's so competitive. Junior talks about it, about these cars are so hard to drive. And, for somebody to have those, you can see his statistics, the top tens and everything. It's just, he's led laps. He's Martinsville here, there. It's just the kid is super calm, collective, and I think he's a little on the underrated side. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But he's definitely. I mean, this kid's gonna be. He's gonna be in NASCAR for a long time, and then it's just nice for him to be in our team. And he will be maybe a stepping stone for him for for the future.
yeah.
But I'm hoping he's gonna make us shine, and we're gonna make him shine and do really good.
Yeah, that was at Martinsville most recently, right, where he won the pole and
Yeah,
he got pretty much just catapulted into the wall there on a
yeah,
restart, which
yeah,
seems like the nature of that race at Martinsville, unfortunately. But yeah, just one of many where it just seemed like bad luck for him all
yeah,
season long. And you hope that turns around. And for a guy that was in there in that kind of like middle pack, I mean, especially you guys know how hard it is, how hard of a fight it is for 15th, for 10th
yeah,
in the Xfinity series, and that kind of transitions to the next guy we'll talk about, Brennan Poole, who just seemed like every week was a guaranteed top 20. I mean,
yeah.
every single week, top 20, top 15.
He's
If he
he.
wasn't caught in something that wasn't his fault, he was up there. And whether it
Yeah,
was just during the race or just being able to be in the right spot at the right time finishing, how important was to have a guy like that on your team, like Brennan Poole, where you're up there in the points, you got top 20 streaks with him when they're showing the playoff picture on TV at the end of the races, and Brendan
yeah.
Poole's right there in 15th, 16th. How cool is that for your guys and your team, for him to step in his first year as a full time driver with you guys and just feel like he was outperforming?
Oh no, he without a doubt outperformed a veteran driver. He's really young still, but
Yeah,
it was just nice to see that when you keep seeing the playoffs and like, okay, that's us. And we're proud of that because when you're, where we're at, we know our budget. We're trying to advance to eventually get to the A team status. But with the money you have,
yeah,
and the equipment that you have, and you see a guy like that, that guy was an anchor, man, Mr. Consistent. You know what I mean? Very rarely gets into trouble. And then even if he starts the race bad, like the car wasn't that fast, man, he's like the little engine that could. At the end of the race, there he is. He's in the top 20, running 15th, 16th, 17th, he almost won a plate race for us,
yeah.
him and
Should have,
could have.
should
Alfredo
have,
on
man.
him almost. If Alfredo would have helped us a little bit more, we would have had it. I was behind him and I got stuck behind Haley, and then I was trying to get to him, couldn't get to his bumper, but
Yeah,
because I just would have just pushed him as much as I can. But I think the guy's just consistency is just super calm. You hear him on the radio, and I think he's like the veteran leader of the team. And then I think the best part about it, it's nice when our mechanics, our crews, know they're working hard on these cars because they work so hard, and you have something like that that's actually outperforming. It elevates the team, elevates the morale on the team.
yeah. Do you think it helps for us? When we consider like seasoned drivers in the sport, because you mentioned how Brennan Poole is still young, but you look at his track record. You got a guy that's driven for Mike Harmon Racing, JD Motorsports, all the way to Chip Ganassi, Rick
Yeah.
Ware in the Cup Series. Back when it was Premium Motorsports as well. Do you think that plays a factor in the fact that he's driven so many different cars and had so much experience, but at the same time, he's still a youngster?
Oh yeah, he's definitely does. This guy got a lot of. He's got a lot of gas left in his tank. Like I said, he drew for the top teams. He was in the playoffs. He's done really good. And then he went to he's as far as being on one of the C teams.
Yeah,
And I think his career was a little quiet for a couple years. And then I think like he revived us. Help us bring us up the charts, and bring himself exposed. He did get a lot of exposure for what he's done. What he did this year and his
yeah.
consistency. And I think it's great, and I think I'm looking forward to this year. A little bit better equipment for him. We're gonna get him some lease motors and for some of the good races. So I think it's just you having somebody like that, a veteran driver, fast, cool, and then you got Parker together. I think these guys are going to feed off each other, and it's really as as a team owner. I mean, it's awesome to have that. You got if we mess up, we know it's a car now.
Yeah.
Because you got two good drivers, and we just hopefully our mechanics, our crew chiefs are going to do our best to give these guys the best we got and make Alpha Prime Racing shine a little bit. We want to step up to the next level. And everything's money, sponsorship, sponsorship, sponsorship. That's why Prime Bites is sponsoring some of Parker's races. We got a couple with Brandon too.
Yeah.
It's like we had to make the deal, and I wanted to sacrifice. I don't want to sacrifice drivers. I was like, I told Tommy, this is our year. I think we want to, show people what we have. I think Brandon kind of like showed it what we had last year. Last year. So I think this year is like another stepping stone. To say, okay, let's do a little bit better. Brandon's 16th in points. You think about it. I call him he's the sleeper. He literally, and he was there every day, every race. And no matter, the good thing about Brennan is just every track he goes to, he is good.
Yeah.
Qualifies good, and then he definitely outperforms. With the car. He's that driver. If you got a 20th place car, he's going to give it to you the 17th. You got
Yeah.
a 15th place car, he's gonna give it to 13th. And that's what you expect out of your drivers.
Yeah, and I've been so glad to have kind of been here from the beginning of this journey with you and Tommy, just beginning this team, back when just when you guys had the proposition of even this becoming a thing.
Yeah,
You going to Tommy, or I believe that's how it went. Yeah, you went to Tommy, right, and said,
I went to
here's
Tommy.
here's
Yeah,
my idea. And
yeah,
then because that's when me and Tommy were podcasting, and this came up, and to see where it is now, I think this is super cool, and I think you guys work tremendously together. I know one thing that Tommy told me, even after Talladega, and was saying after Talladega, was that you guys are putting your best interests where the team lies, and for you as a driver, when you know that you only get select opportunities to go in there as a driver, to go out there and have fun for you, of course, yourself, but your sponsors, your team. But when you're not feeling right to do it, and unfortunately
yeah.
that's happened twice now,
No,
obviously
it's
in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Talladega. I was here in Daytona. Was that 2 years ago, where you were
yeah.
you were having your stomach was fighting
So,
gremlins?
yeah, yeah. So I had two bad lucks, and like this one, I had the migraine from hell. I go practice, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sorry, I went to go qualify, and I'm like, all right, the lines are kind of double here. I'm like, this is no good. And I was like, all right, Tommy, come on, let's see what you got. Take the dust off your helmet,
Yeah.
And I told him, because we had a good car. I was like, just I don't know. I told him at the end, I was like, just go. I went on the radio when it was like 20 to go, 15 to go. I was like, go, 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 go. Pulled off a 13th place finish. He was tickled. I think it was like a child, man. He brought back. He was just tickled to death. So it was pretty cool to see him so happy.
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, they say he's still got it. He proved everybody he's still got it. He still
Yeah,
goes out there and races his late model. At
yeah,
fairgrounds and other places as well. So, and as far as for you, like, I know Tommy does some stuff. Is there anything that's still on your bucket list as a driver? I know you're hitting the super speedways. You'll be here in Daytona, but is there anything that still lies on your bucket list? I know we've talked about sports car racing, and you
yeah,
do a late model here and there. I don't
yeah.
remember the last time you were in one, but is there anything still on your bucket list as a driver, Caesar, before you step into full-time owner?
No, I think I want to drive more. I want to get more, a couple of short track races. I want to get definitely a road course. Because we had a lot of success in the sports cars with the
Yeah.
Ferrari, with the GT3. We won our two championships. With that was awesome. Um, it's a totally different car. I tell
Yeah.
people that's just like driving a NASA, and then you got the NASCAR cars are just. I tell people it's like driving grandma's '57 Chevy with 800 horsepower on it. And then it's probably it's so awesome how these engineers get these cars. They're heavy, small tires, and they make them hook up and do what they do. Especially the road course racing that's happened now, and
Yeah.
NASCAR's brought. I think NASCAR has really come a long way with better tracks, especially the road course racing. People love it. You see how much great racing that we had with the road courses.
Yeah.
So I think I definitely want to do a road course, a few of those. We talked. I was with my ex teammate Martin Fuentes, and we might do the Baja
Yeah.
500. That's
Okay.
that's one of my bucket
I,
list
I
things. Like,
remember Martine.
yeah, yeah, you remember Martin? So I was like, yeah, you know what? We were there, and we're together for New Year's, and like Baja and his buddy's the one he has the trophy trucks, and he's like, we're Baja 500. I was like, I've always wanted, let's do it.
Yeah,
So that's definitely on the bucket list. But I think it's just I want to run a little bit more, in Xfinity and have a lot of get more success. But I think the main thing is I want to see my guys do better,
yeah,
as a team. The biggest thing is like, I tell it's a joke between Tommy, Joe, and I. Is like you want to piss people off, but in a good way.
yeah,
When you have a car that people know our budget, what we have, and you're able to go against these big guys and big teams, and then you could beat them. It's on Monday. They started explaining to do that, guys. What's happening here? How did these guys beat us with a quarter of the budget? And I say it like piss them off in a good way. It's something kind of like a feather in your cap. And it goes back to I it's like seeing your like, I'm older now, but it's like seeing like your child, you know what I mean? Go out there and do good. Like if I ever thought if it was, if I'm coming to the finish line, it's me and Parker, I'm pushing him. I don't want to win the race, because I know me winning a race ain't gonna do nothing for me for the team. I'd rather see
yeah,
him win the race, get into the playoffs, and go farther. So that's my mentality when I race. You want to help the team as a whole, elevate itself to the next level.
yeah. Hey, we've seen teams be able to come out here, especially at Daytona, and
Yeah,
control the field. You guys keep getting faster and faster. It's possible, especially as you get towards the end of those races, you survive and you
yeah,
can make it. And you talk about how important it is for your partners as well. You guys bring, have brought so many people to the racetrack. Great partners that all the people coming out and they want to enjoy it and take in the race. Like I
yeah,
remember. I mean, it's been plenty of races where you guys are packing the pit box, packing the pit
yeah.
stall, and they all want to see you succeed, and then you're kind of in a way in races that you're kind of hanging in the back, like explain to them, oh, just
Just
wait
wait.
for that, just wait for that stage 3. Like you see what happens up here in stage 1.
Yeah.
I think literally the last race we had in August, we crashed on lap 1, didn't we?
Yeah, lap one. That was a little insane. But
Yeah,
one of the most I think most memorable things I've had, as an owner, I think was Phoenix this year.
yeah,
We had TikTok Shop, was on the car, one of our sponsors, and helped me push one of the brands, Prime Bites. Our brand's been number one on TikTok Shop, one or two for almost 8 years, and help elevate the company. But you have these there. It was the team was actually from China originally, and they were
wow,
here. They were out of Seattle now. Uh,
yeah,
One of the guys, he's in charge of North America, and he went to a F1 race. But I'm telling you, when this guy went to Phoenix, I mean, it was like his jaw dropped. He was like so excited. They were like kids. And Stefan did a hell of a job qualifying. We had a really fast car. We gave him everything we had,
yeah,
and he was there. Moving up, move up. Well, unfortunately, there was just he got tangled up with it is what it is and what happened. But I
yeah.
think it was pretty cool when you bring people to track and the sponsors, and they were just in shock and awe and the respect that they had for us as a team to see how we're performing. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, your guys' performance is continuing to go up. I know next year it continue will with Parker Retzlaff and Brennan Poole. You'll be in that third car for Daytona. I know last year at the end of the year, obviously a lot of stuff happened with ownership points swapping over. You guys were
Yeah,
able to run that 45 car a little bit more than you maybe thought going into February last year.
yeah.
Where are your guys' mindset going into this year? Obviously, cars keep coming in to the field. We know Xfinity is stacked every single year.
Oh, it's
Is
that.
that something you guys are still kind of just playing it by ear as the year goes? Like, okay, 45 car will just be here based on XYZ.
Yeah, so we have the two cars locked in, and the 45 car. We got a couple announcements coming up.
Okay.
So it's gonna be hopefully you guys have some news in about a couple of weeks. So we'll make
Uh-huh.
it interesting.
We
So
love the good old sitting here in February waiting if that
waiting to see
45 car
what.
is going to make the race because of
Yeah,
owner points.
for 100 points. Yeah. So Talladega, of course, I got to make it. There's no points on that car. So, but
Right.
sorry, Daytona. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have a couple announcements coming up, so we're excited about that. But I think we're gonna have a good successful year. Just hope we're just blessed to be getting better every time. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
And for Daytona, I guess since we're talking about what has happened in the past, what are we doing? I think I asked you this last year too, so I got to ask you again. Pre-race meal. What are we
Sorry.
going with here? Pre-race meal.
You there? You broke up.
Race day meal. You got me now? Oh. You got me?
You there? Okay. Sorry about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
I lost. You had a call coming. I'm on my phone. So.
Oh, you good? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm in my car and a MacBook, so we doing what we can.
Yeah.
But pre race day meal, pre-race meal, so we can ensure that you're all good. I remember I asked you last year. You gave me a good answer. I can't remember what you said, but
Pre-race meal. Oh no, I'm gonna just carbs, man. Bread. That's it. I don't want to get a stomach ache. There's no pizza. There's no pasta.
what was it? What was it 2 years ago before the race? What was the suspect?
I forgot what it was at 8, but it would have killed me.
It was something.
Yeah, but I was my everybody they were laughing at me when I saw pictures after. I'm like I looked like I was 4 months pregnant. 5 months pregnant, and I was like, all right. So,
You
but
guys
yeah,
would be
no,
cooking over there.
yeah, no, they cook. Yeah, they cook
Y'all
ribs.
had
These
the
guys are
flat
going
top
crazy.
grill out. I
Yeah.
mean, this was like early days of Alpha Prime Racing. You
No,
guys
no,
were
yeah,
over
yeah.
there
They were
showing
they were
out.
going at it. Yeah, no, now it's not. Just bread, no nothing. I don't want no peanut butter, no jelly on it. I'm making the race. That's it. So
Gotcha, man. Well, yeah, that sounds good. And then last question I'll ask you. You talked about road courses. I've been thinking about Chicago and Mexico all day. I mean, you mentioned Baja 500, going and having fun over there. Is there a road course you want to hit this year? If in a perfect world?
I think we're talking about with Tommy because we got a couple announcements coming up. I don't know how it's gonna end up. Yes, I want to
Yeah.
do Mexico. I love Mexico. I got one of my buddies that Martin actually wants to drive from in Mexico. That's his home. He's Mr. Mexico City. So
Yeah. Okay.
so he's pretty cool. But we gotta see how they play out with other stuff coming up with some announcements and with drivers. But if not, I'm thinking about maybe Portland. For
Okay.
me. Been there before. They're pretty good there. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
definitely, I love to hit a road course this year.
Awesome. Sounds good, man. Well, I'll let you go, and I'm gonna hit my 3-hour drive home back to Tampa, and
Love it.
hopefully I'll be back here for the Rolex or something. But if not, I will see you in February, and it's gonna be a fun time.
You got it, bud. Have
Yes,
a
sir.
safe trip.
Appreciate you coming on,
Thanks.
man. Have a good
You
one.
got it, bud.
All right, and thank you to Caesar for coming on with us today in this little car episode that we have going on here. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Usually this is on Instagram, so I just put it on the side broadcast here just in case there were some issues. But nonetheless, fun day at Daytona. ARCA testing's over. It is pitch black here at Daytona. They did not keep any lights on, so if we were outside, that wouldn't have been good. But you guys have a great one. Thanks as always for tuning in, and we'll see you guys when we see you guys next. Have a good one.